Can you make $100,000 a year vibe coding? What is vibe coding? The newest side hustle? A business? Today, we're talking about how you can make money coding without knowing coding. That's right, we're going to use AI. This is a new trend known as vibe coding, where you can actually go in and use AI tools to build full-on websites, programs, apps, development, and more. And today, we're going to go through the nitty-gritty, what you need to get started, the tools you need to use, and what you can expect. Because some people are saying you can make as much as $200,000 a year, $100,000 a year, or even more. So we're going to go through it line by line. Alina, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, thank you. Yeah, that's interesting. It's the term vibe coding shifts a little bit, and now it means the people who code just for fun, sometimes using AI and not diving too deep into this.
Yeah.
Or just not being able to dive deep because they are no coders.
And I also heard several top people like Zuckerberg and some other people out there, I think even Bill Gates said it, that programmers are going to be obsolete in like 5 years. Which is interesting because, okay, well, where's that going to go? And where does that leave people like us that might want to make money, make a business with coding, but we don't want to go to a big school to learn it if it's going to be obsolete?
I think it's a shifting. Probably they're going to be programmers anyway, but it's going to be more of a pro level, like not junior level programmers. And they are mostly going to be using AI anyway. It's just that their work and efficiency is going to be much higher in general. But yes, it's something I think about it as the usage of computers before, when it didn't have the user-friendly interfaces, and only if you know what's going inside and the computer language, you can interact with it. And then it shifted to the more intuitive design like every person is using now. So it feels to me like it's shifting to the same direction when you don't need to know the background to actually use something or create something.
That's a very interesting perspective that I would not have thought of. But I love it because it's kind of like when DOS was out, right? When I was a kid, we had DOS, which you'd have to go and like type in C:, whatever the program was.
Exactly what I'm thinking.
And then it went to Windows, which, I mean, Bill Gates made a little bit of money off of Windows. And looking at that, if we look at that from a programming standpoint, that is a very good way to look at it because it's being more user-friendly to the end user, the programming. So now, or before, computers were only accessed by, the people that were computer people, that were into it. And now everyone uses them. Like your phone is more powerful than the computers those guys had back then.
Yeah, same thing like with the cameras, right? So you can only take professional pictures if you have like a camera and a setup and everything, but now everyone can take them because it's in their phone. So it's just getting easier for the major crowd.
And the interesting part about that too is now you have people that didn't go to photography school, don't have a $10,000 camera, they go shoot a wedding and make $2,000 on a weekend.
Exactly.
And so now it's, with programming, it's kind of like this is opening the door for everyone.
Yeah, but then the question comes to what actually you're supposed to do to stand out. Like if everyone can code and create it, what will this be that makes you different from everyone?
Which is what this video is about. So glad you're here. Smash the like button. Let's go through this. So vibe coding for profit. What we're looking at with vibe coding is I'm seeing lots of people talking about the side hustle. Alina's here. She's been doing coding with us for roughly 3 months. Did you start coding?
Maybe already 6.
6 months. Okay. So about 6 months. Before that, what was your programming background?
Nothing.
Nothing. Just like you knew the internet?
No, I'm just a linguist.
Okay, so she's a linguist. Had no idea about coding, but coding is a language, so that might have helped a little bit.
It helped a little bit in a structure-wise way, yeah.
Yeah, and she made this entire website out of code with vibe coding. So like it's got little grammar quizzes. I mean, this is pretty amazing stuff, which back in the day, when I used to make websites like this would cost a lot of money to create this. And I mean, you're able to make what, 5 or 6 of these a day? Which is amazing. And not only that, but we're actually making full apps and development. And with Alina doing vibe coding, she actually surpassed me in my knowledge. I've been doing this 25 years. I don't claim to be a coder, but she comes over and she's like, I need SQL access. And I'm like, well, I don't know about that. And she figures it out, which, I mean, the ability to figure it out with AI I think is very, very in demand, where like you have a degree, it's in demand to people who are hiring. You have a skill where you can go out there and build something based on what you know. Now you're valuable as a side hustle or a business owner.
Yeah, I've seen even jobs like this appear. I don't know if it's like for fun right now or if it's a serious job offer, but there is a thing, it might be connected to, they might be looking to hire people who know how to interact with AI to get a better result from it.
Yeah.
So this might be already coming to the career path.
Yeah, and I mean, my programmer, Andy, you know Andy, he does programming, and now that we're using AI, I give him a half-baked program. He fixes it up literally 30 seconds. I mean, it's so quick, it's crazy. But you can see here, like on Upwork, if you were to go browse jobs and you were to look at recent posted programming jobs, I mean, I was looking in here, there's jobs that are $5,000 that you could do with AI. Now, I don't know if it would actually, you know, you got to go on there and get the job. So there is that part. But I think learning this skill and being a vibe coder is in high demand right now. We're looking at these where programming offers multiple income streams: freelance, employment, business ownership, product creation, all kinds of stuff. Growing market with AI tools. I mean, the AI tools, the people that are making a lot of money right now are the ones making little derivatives of AI tools, which is cool. And we did a video about the GPT store years ago, or actually, I think a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. One of our students used it, got results. He doesn't know programming. So really cool stuff. The key skills needed. Now, these are the old skills. Like when we brought you on here, you didn't have a lot of these. You had maybe...
I didn't have any of this.
Yeah, no, I mean, you weren't even familiar with AI. So the fact that you learned it, one, I will say, Alina is an anomaly. She learns things amazingly fast. So there is that learning curve.
I can give an advice. It's more about like curiosity and like trying to take a step further. Like you making the application, yes, you just come and say, make me this calculator. It does it. Just do not stop there. Just ask it, what else can I do for it, or how can I make it pretty, and try to learn in the process of how it is made, or ask AI, because all the AI tools that we have now, what were chatbots or these programmer tools, they are all very friendly towards like teaching you. They can all explain to you what it does and why, and you can ask them a ton of questions. Just be curious about it and you will totally grow in it.
I agree. Wholeheartedly. Curiosity is one of the most overlooked things in business, because we think that, oh, we need this package done. I need to know everything. I need to be everything. Nope. You just need to be willing to be curious.
You just ask questions.
and I mean, I've had a lot of people work for me over the years. The curiosity you have and the ability to learn this stuff, I think that's what sets you apart, because you're willing to make a mistake. You're willing to figure it out. You're willing to get a response that you might not want or use just to learn the process. And I remember a couple months ago, she was doing the MySQL for one of our clients, and I'm thinking in my head, oh my God, I'm not making profit on this. It's taking too long. But I thought in the back of my head, if you can learn this on your own, the skill of learning it, the process you went through to learn it is going to be way more than what I would make making a profit on this job.
Yeah, right now I'm building this for our side, and the creation of table took me like 30 seconds instead of
exactly. And
several hours.
So, I mean, if you guys are listening here, Alina used AI to learn coding to make herself more valuable as a coder and someone who can do web dev, where a lot of people don't do that. They're too busy trying to just get it to spit something out, trying to get a quick job. They're not willing to put the legwork in to actually learn it. That's where, you know, you can do this as a side hustle. Like, okay, yeah, learn to go and do something simple, do it one and done. In 6 months, you'll be out of a job because AI will do that for you. If you learn how to use these tools, you're going to have a job for a long time. And you see, with programmers, again, this isn't a guarantee or, you know, money that's going to happen as soon as you click pause on the video. This is what programmers make. Now, for me, I'm going to talk to you at the end about how we're doing this, where we're building businesses out of the tools, which to me is better because it's passive income, build something that's going to last longer. You're not subject to AI because we're going to consumer rather than to other programmer, where it's like, okay, if I make something to consumer, they don't care, know, or give a rip if it's in AI. They just want the tool to calculate or whatever it is. Now, looking at this, the income level on entry-level freelancers is about $2,000 to $5,000 a month, experienced 7 to 15, and then all the way up to like senior developers, which are like the dudes in lab coats, which we have lab coats, but we keep forgetting to wear them. So those are like the guys that went to 8, 12 years of programming school.
I think those are the guys that will not be out of job. They will just work faster and more efficiently.
Yeah, those are the ones that are going to keep the AI online.
Yeah.
Now, looking at that, I mean, I was thinking about it this morning. I'm like, I went to the heart doctor, and heart doctors make a lot of money here in the USA. And I'm thinking to myself, I never went to college. I barely graduated high school. I'm self-taught in internet marketing, and I'm making more than developers and some surgeons, which is like, okay, if we can do that, and now we have AI to learn it, that's a pretty good gig.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is also a combination of this. You gotta understand how to apply it, or at least research how to apply it, which is again easier with AI because it can give you ideas or discuss this plan with you.
Now, what do you do? So I think one of the big things people have is frustration and give up level. One thing I noticed about you don't give up. Like you get a task, you're like, okay, I don't care if it's raining outside. I don't care anything, I'm gonna do it. A lot of people get frustrated with the AI and they try something and it doesn't work. How do you push past that to learn?
It might be just a personality trait, but for people who get really frustrated, I would say drop it today and come back when you're in a better mood. That might work, but generally just try different approaches.
And I think also like curiosity and just like, it's not personal.
Yeah, there has been an issue when I was frustrated with Bolt, and you just, to the point where you just start a new chat and rewrite the same tool that you were doing, but it didn't work. Like if you run through the same mistake again, you can literally ask Bolt, like, can we change approach of how it works? Can we fully change the structure of it because it doesn't work?
Yeah.
Just try something different that works too.
That's interesting. So it will think different on different sessions, which is interesting. Okay, so quick start projects people can do, and learning these skills, landing pages, obviously building them for clients. You can make money doing that.
Yeah, especially now when it's only coming into the use, and most of the people just don't know that that option exists. And if you say like to any company in your city or town that doesn't have a website, and you say I'll make it like for much less than usually a website building cost using AI, it's probably going to be the better choice for them.
Well, and I mean, I did this years ago, and I was limited by what I could build. Like, okay, as a freelancer, I tapped out at about $7,000 a month. After that, I was like, okay, I either need to duplicate myself or my work or something, or hire people, where I tapped out. Now with AI, I mean, if I was doing local business websites with AI, I could probably do 5 or 10 a day. I mean, it's not that hard to do. Small business websites, that's kind of the same. Custom web applications, those range between $5,000 and $20,000. I've paid a lot of money for custom web apps, a lot. There's one I pay right now, it's like $3,000 a month. There's lots of others that I pay as well. And being able to build those either for yourself or as a freelancer is key. E-commerce solutions, I would say stay away from that if you don't know coding, because you don't want to deal with like credit card forms and stuff if you don't know what you're doing. Don't touch it.
Safety is one of the issues that real developers have about AI coding. Like that we do not control these decisions. We only control like something on our level, user level.
And if you don't know what you're looking at, like I use it to make WordPress stuff, but I give it to my programmer and say, is there anything malicious in here? Because I mean, and it's not that the AI is making something malicious, it just doesn't know where a vulnerability would be. And now that so many other countries are using AI so inexpensively, and I mean, you look at other countries that need $1, $10 a day to live on, I mean, they're out there doing what they can to make it work.
Actually, I have a comment about this. It's getting better in this sphere too. Like usually before I only used bold and like stopped there. Now if I'm doing something more complicated, I'm coming to Claude and I'm giving it all the files to Claude and I'm asking it. And Claude seemed to be very good at seeing all the vulnerabilities and all the improvements possible to make. So for example, if you switch to the Claude and scroll it a little up, even more, basically what it did, it said what I was lacking in my program, like very far before the code actually, somewhere.
Like way up here? Okay.
Okay, right after my prompt.
Got it. So your prompt was the code.
The code and the files of the applications. And it kind of already finds the mistakes there. You see there is like a schema mismatch, some of the implementation issues, the path is incorrect. And it says like consider some safety things too. So it suggested that it's getting better at those too.
That's interesting. I actually used that. Remember when I was doing the Honey videos for the Honey app? I actually ran codes from their script in here to see if there was malicious stuff, because everyone was like, oh my God, it's malicious. There is some things that are questionably financially ethical, but as far as malicious, I didn't see malicious coding stuff in there.
Unless you count malicious, like the whole purpose of earning money.
Exactly, yeah. So here in America, we call that capitalism. The ethics are like,
Yeah, I guess the main issue they didn't tell you.
Yeah, exactly. Where to find work. So if you're doing vibe coding and you want to find work, Upwork, Fiverr, Freelancer, GitHub, local business networking, tech meetings and conferences. A lot of people miss this one, where you could literally go to meetups and find customers.
Nice.
Or start your own meetup, which is like, we have a meetup called New Business Website, and people in your area will flock to it. Teach them good stuff. I mean, go through, learn the things, get a little slideshow, free customers. I think meetup is like $20 or something to have that. Now, scaling to a full business, this is my favorite, because we can use vibe coding to create our own tools, as you've done here with this site, as we've done in AI Profit Scoop and many other things, where we're actually making codes that we can give to a consumer, someone who's coming to our website, hey, use this mortgage calculator, where years ago, I paid a lot of money for mortgage calculators on my site. Luckily, I made a lot of money on it, but a lot of people that don't have the barrier of entry of having $1,000 or $10,000 to build this stuff, or the time, now you can go to AI, say, build me this, boom, it's done. Or, building an app that you can sell, something simple like remove.bg. I made a similar script to that in literally 9 minutes with AI, and that company's doing millions. I mean, it's insane. And all it does is remove a background. So, you're sitting here and you're like, well, I don't like the logo and the backdrop. It'll just put you transparent, which is really cool. So you have all these tools. I like this as a business, because scaling as a full business, where you could do either like, I'm going to say product-based, where you have your own product, whether it's like an ad generator for realtors, or think like, could you have something that helps realtors put their listing up and get more sales? Could you have something that helps realtors get leads? Could you create a guide or something like that will attract an audience, where you're either selling it to consumer, mortgage calculator, you come use my calculator, boom, or realtors come to you and get your coding tool or whatever it is. And I think what we're going to see here is diversified AI. This AI is for realtors. I already saw that. I went to the dentist the other day, and she was telling me how much they were paying for their AI dentist software. And it was insane. I'm like, wow, no wonder you charged me $5,000 a tooth, right? And it's like, okay, it's kind of crazy. But I think we're going to see little minute ones. And if you get in early, that's something you can do, where you can help people adapt and help people use these tools like Bolt and stuff. Now, creating your own software as a service product, this would be where I would say do something simple. Keep it very, very basic, very simple, like remove.bg did, where it does one thing. Maybe it helps you write an email. Maybe it helps you analyze something, or maybe it's an Excel spreadsheet creator or something very simple. And you can see there's lots of businesses that did this, like Notion, valued at $10 billion, Airtable, $11 billion, Candly, which is a calendar scheduling tool, all kinds of stuff like this, which is really cool. And then you have bootstrapped ones. MailChimp sold for $12 billion. I think I could probably live on that for a little bit.
Yeah.
At least a half hour. Project management, Basecamp, 25 million annual revenue. ConvertKit, 30 million annual revenue. And you have all these examples. And now that there's AI and it's getting better, you're only limited by your imagination. And being able to go through, look at these things. Like if I was to go through and I wanted to learn things people want, take something like Upwork, put it in Ahrefs, and see what they rank for. And you'll see it's like, build a calculator for my website. Okay, if you learn how to build calculators, boom, you're off to the races, you're good to go. And you're going to see 156 different keywords related to all this stuff, and we'll make part of this report available over at AI Profit Scoop. But you can see the different things that people want, which is really cool. And, virtual assistant, translation. You could check Fiverr. Fiverr's perfect for this. Maybe if you did Fiverr, you can isolate it by PHP or something. Go in here and type in PHP. And what this will do is it will tell you the stuff that you need to learn, right? So keyword, PHP, apply, show results. And now I'll see 443 PHP developer, freelance PHP. Going through looking at the jobs that they have for PHP stuff, and you're going to see, okay, is this stuff I can do with vibe coding? Develop a Telegram bot, develop a Moodle, all kinds of crazy stuff here, which is really cool. And you can learn this stuff. Obviously keep it ethical, obviously do things that are good, but these are the kind of things that you can build, whether you're doing it for a side hustle or a business. Game changer.
Yeah, that's nice. I was curious what programmers that do know coding think about this, and I would think they'd be really criticizing about this, as well as artists are mostly. But I think that the most concern for them is actually the safety and the market in general. Yeah, pretty much that. So, I mean, I would be probably a little sad if I was a junior programmer and AI comes in. Yeah.
I would too. I mean, I look at it, and I've been doing this a long time, and now there's a lot of things that take over the things that we do, like copywriting, sales, marketing, things like that. Go ahead.
I think it's the best if you actually learn through the process.
I think so too.
It will be much easier for you to correct mistakes and to see mistakes in the code rather than blindly asking AI to correct it. So you will have at least some understanding of why it's not working.
Yeah. And I think too, looking at using your tools to see what people want, because if I go through here and I do Keyword Explorer and I look at what people are searching for, and I do something like calculator, how do you spell calculator? Let's try this again. There we go, calculator, right? I, on the other hand, am not a linguist. So looking at this, we could see all the different calculators that people want, and creating these with AI to get traffic and build a business around is my favorite. Like loan calculator. One, side hustle business. I could do this, make them for local loan businesses. Where before they had to pay $5,000. They didn't even have the idea to do it. Now you can make it custom for them. That's like $500, click here to save, boom, done deal. I can make it for myself and get traffic. And going through, if I did a GPA calculator, okay, think about what they would want. Well, they're probably going to college. They're going to go to college. They're looking for the GPA so they can apply. Can I get them into scholarship stuff? Or things that would help them that would also pay me? BMI, obviously that goes into weight loss stuff. And you can see that they get easier as you go along. And if you isolate, let's say I just want BMI, now I have BMI for men, BMI for women, all kinds of ones here. And you can see that the competition starts to go lower, like reverse BMI. I don't even know what that is. And we can go through and bolt and say, please make this. And it'll actually make a whole website around it if we want, which is really cool. And it'll show you what it looks like. And this is kind of thing, if you learn this, now you're more valuable to people coming to your website because you can provide more stuff that will help them. Sure. Much like the people who made the debt clock. Did you ever see that one? So it's the debt clock is based on the USA national debt, the amount of money we owe to ourselves.
So it just shows it in dynamic.
It's a counter. Yeah. So it's like, let's see, debt clock. Here it is. And this one here, I mean, it's all over the news. It's huge. And it just literally shows all the stuff, like how much people are made. There's the Doge clock, savings per taxpayer, and on we go. And this is the kind of thing where back in the day, it took a lot to code this stuff. Now it's literally nothing. Here's our reverse BMI calculator in minutes. I mean, it's amazing. And knowing this stuff and knowing what you want is key, and maybe saying, okay, well, what would they need to do next? Can you implement an affiliate offer? Can you implement a link to another website? Can you give them a printable report so I can get their email? I mean, that kind of stuff. This was a dream to me years ago. I mean, I used to have a programmer guy that the affiliate network gave me. I was making a lot of money with the affiliate network, and they're like, yeah, you can contact our guy on Skype. Or back then it was AOL Messenger. Yes, I'm that old. But at any rate, looking at that it was amazing because he would create me little tools, and he'd laugh because he's like, that tool took me 2 seconds to make. But now you can make this. Right now, you technically, disclaimer, not really, but you are a programmer with AI.
A vibe coder.
A vibe coder, exactly, there we go. You are a vibe coder, and you can use this in lots of ways to make money. And learning this stuff is key because, you're seeing, like right here, it says initial investment. This was in the old days. Like buying a franchise, learning coding. Stuff used to be super expensive, now it's not. Now, let's go through what would your advice be to someone who wants to learn this, and what kind of prompts do you do? Tell us about your experience.
So of course, when you just come into this first time, you're going to use some simple, like one sentence prompts because you have no idea of what it's like or how your tool can look like. I'd say sometimes it's better to get something done through the ChatGPT or Claude first to have a more detailed prompts to give to Bolt. Like it will be fine already, but if you want something more complicated from the scratch and you don't know how to write it, also try Lovable instead, I think. Yeah, okay. Because Lovable will write all this stuff for you pretty much from the very beginning.
Okay.
But yes, try like some more questions, follow-up questions that come with this, like about design. Think what else you can put on this page, like your pictures, your affiliate links, any forms, any links to the next post or next tools. Like just be creative with how your page looks like.
Yeah.
And ask things that you didn't think of, even like ask Bolt, what else can I add to this to make it better?
Yeah, and I think too, one of the things that would be beneficial for people to have, get yourself a web hosting account. We'll have a link over at aiprofitscoop.com that you can use. That way you can follow along with what we use, because if you have the same host we use, you'll be able to follow along and click the buttons we click, which is pretty cool.
Yes, plus we like already have the checklists and the guides of how to use Bolt for the cheap hosting sites, because usually what it does in React will not run on your website. So if you want to check it out, there is AI Profit Scoop link, and it has both guide videos on the Bolt that actually cover all these questions.
Yeah, and I think it works really well if you can look at having a web host so you can test it out. And don't worry about it, like as long as it's on a demo site, like don't go put it on your best client's website or your website that gets traffic. Start a new one on your host. Like I have a shared one where we use the shared one for testing stuff out. We use the main one for the other things. And it's not too expensive, even if you're new and you're just testing it out. All you need is the basic shared one, which is a couple bucks a month. Now, looking at this, human AI interaction, what would you tell people prompting as a skill? Like, how would you go through and say, let's say a client came to you, or let's say I wanted a tool, and I'm like, hey, I want this tool that keeps track of the inflation data from this website.
I would start with the easy prompt. I would start with this one light prompt and then gradually increase it. But because I already know what type of files I want, I also mentioned this in the prompt that I want you to write it in HTML, or I want you to use this or not to use this, and that makes it much easier So it's more about experience. When it's through trial and error, you will already find your own strategy of how you prefer to do that, for sure.
Got it. So having the files. So over at AI Profit Scoop, we'll have a little list of files you can use. A link to Alina's going to have a class on all of this stuff to show you start to finish. Like, here's how a host works. Here's how a file works. Here's what kind of files this AI does, what kind of files this AI does, what you will want.
Where to get ideas, how to run it through, how to upload it, how to check if it's working, how to tackle mistakes, like everything going to be in this one class.
Absolutely. So cognitive offloading, what is this about?
It's about that we let AI have these technical and logical decisions without getting too much into it. Like, developers have an idea of how the logic must be built inside this tool, whereas we as a vibe coding, we usually don't have this idea. I sometimes do, just based on my experience and generally because I'm more towards analytic build than not. And that's about like offloading this thought process to the AI, which has like benefits because you don't have to know how it's built and works, and like the downsides that you do not control it and you don't know how good this decision is or how safe it is.
Got it. And for this, vibe coding shifts mental load where traditional is implementation, focus on intention. I like that.
Yeah, so it's more focus on intention, focus on the general language and concept and creativity. So after leaving all these technical tasks to the AI, you have more freedom and more like concentration of what you want to build, how it's going to look like, what other ideas you can put it in. I would call it like this, like when you are a developer, you constantly probably know and think about what I can do based on my skills. Whereas when you're vibe coding, you don't think about it. You just think, I want this, so I'll make that.
I like that, because a lot of people don't realize there are little scripts that are written by little businesses and smaller coders that make a lot of money. Like, we all think, oh, ClickFunnels, oh wow, the big ClickFunnels. But we don't know, like, there's a dude who made Amember years ago. Little script for stuff. I mean, we use it, Amember. We pay $129 for it or $150 lifetime. It's very cheap. And the dude made a lot of money with it. We just look at the big success story, and what you're doing is you're comparing yourself to this giant business. Like, if I make a cell phone app and I go to Apple, I'm going to feel intimidated. Like, I can't beat Apple. It's not going to happen. They got there by the government help. But anyway, also good skills. But that was a joke. Calm down. It's going to be okay. But looking at that, we can build something small. Go over to Code Canyon. Go over to places that sell codes and templates. Look at AppSumo. AppSumo's huge. He's here on YouTube. He's got a big channel. And all they do is sell little apps. There's a guy who made a little app the other day, and I'm like, guy's making like $1 million with it. Now.
Yeah, and also if you have a niche already and you know something about it, think like what in your process that you're lacking, some kind of easy hack that you would like to use that will help too.
Exactly. And then go through and think about what you want with that. Like, okay, can you build me a simple Stripe button that calculates the earnings or whatever, or maybe even build me a PayPal button or something like that, where businesses are looking for this. And if you can make the packaged version, the best thing I ever did to make money was building something that a lot of people wanted, packaging it to where it's like, hey, if Alina wants this, I could push one button. Now it has her info on it. Now she can go use it. And boom, 1 second. I remember I did this one night. I had this software. It took me forever to make the software because I had to scan the thing and add the links. It took me like a week, which in coding terms is forever. And I made this, and then I was like, wow, there's lots of people who would want this. And since it was based on PayPal, which is an email address-based system, and items. So literally just change the variable from this email to your email. Here's your CD or your disc or your website that is now custom for you. And it took me one button, done deal.
Yeah, like design-wise, there's a lot of like even not that useful little things, but that look cute. I don't know, creating some kind of funny button designs or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And those are things that they sell like crazy. I've bought stuff like that so many times, I'd hate to admit how many times. But going through and looking like, okay, maybe I can look at something like Code Canyon, right? And look at what sells. This is a world a lot of people don't realize when it comes to making money with coding. Echo RSS feed post generator, $49, 1,900 sales. That's, I don't know, you do the math, $50, right under,
a lot.
Yeah, like I think it's about $100,000. Here's another one, $24. This here, RSS, and you can even do anything, right? Just go in, take Code Canyon, go to the codes section, which I guess it's all code section. Look at it here, and you will see what people want, and you could make codes day in and day out. Now, are you going to make $100,000 like that guy? I have no idea. The most people
Depends. It's also luck.
Exactly. And some of it is, some of it is like direct targeting and aggressive marketing. Like if I go through and I aggressive market one of these tools, like let's say we want cryptocurrency exchange script, right? That's something that sites that do crypto stuff would like. Or maybe WordPress automatic plugin, right? What does that do? Look at it, see what it does. It's about building a better mousetrap, right? In business, they're like, if you could build a better mousetrap, you will make money. Here, $40 each with support. He's got, he's 40,000 sales. That's, if my
even
math
if it costs $1, that's already a lot.
Yeah, well, then if my math is correct, that's over $1 million. It's about 1.5 on WordPress automatic plugin. Now, what does it do? AI content generator auto poster plugin. Okay, so it does tie into AI, so it would be a little bit advanced, but what are you willing to do for $1 million? Oh, I'll figure it out. Looking at that and saying, what can I do better? How can I do this better? Obviously, do not copy, but going through and saying, WordPress automatic, let's build, like the one we did for the auto content poster we made where they could put in all their stuff. That literally took AI Profit Scoop from like 10 members a month to 500, almost 1,000 now, like that. Because they're like, hey, I want that plugin. I would probably pay $50 just for the plugin. So yes, I'll sign up for your stuff. And going through and looking at this, watch what happens. You can even do this where you go through and you look at WordPress.org. And I'm doing .org because they have their plugins on there. And you could see based on what people search for. And when I first started my other YouTube channel, which has gotten pretty popular, the video that set us off was not, here's Marcus showing money. It was literally, here is how to use the all-in-one SEO plugin. That's it. And I just showed him how to use it. And the marketing on these is easy. You talk about other plugins and then you point to yours. That's it. Like, obviously, you don't want to be like, this plugin bad, mine good. No. Show them how to legit use the other one. And then say, by the way, I made one that solves this problem. It's about solving problems. You see accessibility widget plugin. You got all these others here. Contact Form 7. This one's been around forever. You look at it, it's probably got a zillion downloads. Tons. 10 million active. Right now, today, 10 million people have that on their website.
Oh my God.
And what is it? It's a contact form. And it's not even my favorite, right? So going through and looking at this is amazing. You can build these all day. This is what I love about AI vibe coding, because we could go in and we could make stuff that before you had to be or hire a programmer, which it's so plug and play now. It's crazy. Right? And these are things where, if I went to you and I said I want a contact form style plugin, I would think you'd probably have it done by the end of the week, no problem.
Yeah.
And that's with no programming degree. Just, I'm going to figure this out.
True.
And that's what you got to do. I'm going to figure this out, hell or high water. I'm going to make this work. And looking at that and understanding the ecosystem, understanding, okay, which ones work best for what? If I'm going to do WordPress, I'm probably going to do Claude or ChatGPT. If I'm going to do a big tool or a website, I'm probably going to start it in Bolt and then convert it to PHP or something. Or, as you mentioned yesterday,
HTML.
Bolt does not like PHP. It's like it turns into the devil when you talk about PHP. But looking at these different things like security plugins, tying them into other stuff. There are people right now making a ton of money making apps that work off of AI, right? You plug in the API, boom, you got a business. And going through and understanding, like, are there people that are overnight successes? Yes. Is that the norm? No. The vast majority make nothing. But understanding you can now code. There's nothing stopping you except your imagination and data. And if we make data-driven decisions, like, why did this sitemap plugin work? What can I do better? And taking it a step further, looking at sitemap plugin. Plugin is primarily a word used for WordPress, so I'm going to guess that's what they want. Now we got a bunch of people every month looking it up. You could see what the demand is over here. If you were to look up the sitemap one, wherever it went, down here somewhere, and you can see, okay, how many downloads do they have? Here's a quiz plugin. You made quizzes a lot, and they work really well. So the sitemap one, we're seeing here, 1 million active installs. I don't care who you are. If you got 1 million people to install something, even if it's free, you can make some money with it. You just have to think different and think about serving them. Now you have 1 million people use WordPress that like your free tool. Really cool. Lots of other stuff too. WordPress isn't the only one. There are people that do derivatives of ClickFunnels, high level, Infusionsoft. There's people out there, their entire career is teaching people how to use Infusionsoft because the nickname is Confusionsoft. And looking at that is like, wow, that's how it works. ClickFunnels got big because they saw the things people didn't like in Infusionsoft. That's what they did. They were like, this is too complicated for the average person. Let's make this.
That's a good approach.
It is. Yeah, build a better mousetrap with programming. And I would say start something simple. Don't go after ClickFunnels. It's already been done. Do something simple. In the age of AI, can I make AI-based plugins and make a living? Definitely. Is it guaranteed? No. Can I do it? With some work and some ingenuity and stick-to-itiveness. Yes. Interface design principles that empower.
It's pretty much the same what I made it already, so it's just intuitive designs.
Okay. And we'll have these notes and a big training link on AI Profit Scoop as well. So how can these tools, what would you say to a beginner? Like, hey, I'm watching you guys. I don't know coding. I've never had a web server. First, get a web server. Go get web hosting. AI Profit Scoop will have a link there. If you're not on the list at AI Profit Scoop, we give away so much information. I think you're going to love it. And if you don't, just click the unsubscribe button and you don't have to get it anymore. Very simple. But I think you'll like it. Give it a try. Ethics and ownership. Obviously, you're going to run into copyrighted snippets. You're going to run into...
Well, officially, it does say that whatever you output from the AI tools, it's legally yours.
Your responsibility too.
Yeah, your responsibility. That's right. Yeah,
because if you make a tool that does something harmful or plagiarizes or steals code outright,
you cannot blame AI for this. It's going to be your responsibility.
It's yours. Yeah, you made it, not the AI. Which is interesting. That goes into a whole other...
Even if you didn't understand that you made it.
Even if you didn't understand. Exactly. That's one of the things. That's why for me, I would say if you're going to do this and you're going to do it right, start with something simple.
Yes.
Like a WordPress plugin. Something very simple. Like the one we made was a one-page WordPress plugin. I was able to read it. I could throw it in ChatGPT, as Alina said, throw it in Claude, ask it if there's anything weird. Then go through and build it. But start a business with something small.
Yeah, also, when you're just starting and you never use those chatbots or tools or AI at all, just try it out, experiment. It's good to have some kind of guidance, which is why we have like this $17 access that you can look through. Or there are plenty of free ones. Just do not overload yourself with all unnecessary information. Just go and try it for yourself, like experiment.
What I would say, whether you're going to be a freelancer vibe coder or a vibe coder that builds a business or software as a service, do one thing really, really good. If it's a plugin, make a really good, simple plugin. And you can build that and grow it. The problem is people get spread too thin.
Yes.
They're like, I'm going to make this, I'm going to make that, I'm going to do this. Oh my gosh, here's a new tool, here's this new thing.
Yeah, learn one thing to the point that you are better in this than an average person, and then you can offer something.
Exactly. And if you're going to build a plugin or a program or a software, do one thing really well. And just keep doing it, and then sell it like you mean it, and build and grow. And that's really what I do all the time. Like if I didn't have that laser focus of, I remember there's a story of my uncle. My uncle always liked to tell my dad what to do. My dad did not like to be told what to do. And one time we were moving this piece of furniture, it was a table. And my uncle's like, well, just stand it up in the back of the truck. It'll be fine going down the freeway. Everyone's like, wow, that's a bad idea. And my dad was like, no, don't do that. And my uncle's like, nope, do it. He's like, okay, go ahead. My brother gets down the road about 19 feet. The table just whirly-birds out, crashes all over the floor, or the road, right in the middle of the intersection. So we had to like get out and stop traffic and everything. And my uncle was angry because my dad got the I told you so. Dad didn't even need to say I told you so, but it was there. And my uncle's a big guy. You don't want him mad. And everyone's like, oh, let me get this, let me get that. Oh, we should have done this. Oh, you should have. And my uncle goes, everybody, find something to do. I'm doing this. And that's how you need to be with coding. Find something to do. This is what I'm doing. Okay, what about this new AI tool? Forget about it. I'm doing this. I'm learning this skill so I can go on Elance and just sell that skill. Right? Like, think about it. Who makes more? The general doctor you go see for everything, or the guy who takes out that one little thing? It's that one little thing guy. He shows up to work. 15 minutes later, he's like, I made 47 grand a day, right? Because he does that one thing, and he does it well, and he doesn't even have to learn anything new. He just does that thing all day, every day. Does it get monotonous? Is he tired of removing gallbladders or whatever he does? Yes. But, you know, we had that issue, and it was like 90 grand. So, I don't know. Yeah, and that's all he does. He showed up, and I remember talking to the guy. He's like, hey, the specialists, those are the ones with the Lamborghinis and the Ferraris and those are them. Us general doctors, we drive regular people cars. Not that it's about cars, but understanding it's about that one thing. Do the one thing, learn it good, and then, you know, maybe learn another thing after you've mastered that one. Is it ethical to build full apps without understanding code? Not ethical by itself, but developing unvetted code hinders. Okay, so it is interesting. This is an interesting area.
It's like a question for debate, mostly.
Yeah. Are there other equity or labor implications? I think the amount of code and the amount of stuff, it's going to, in the short term, take a lot of jobs.
True.
In the long term, create more.
Yeah, and here's something about creators. Like, imagine you're like a good painter, you create your own content, you create comics. Like, you can go to and make a visual novel now based on this. Because, for example, earlier you couldn't afford it and you don't have skills to build it on yourself.
Yeah. And there are gray areas, you know, like I look at things that people do. Like, I like poetry. I've been writing poetry for a long time. I haven't done it in years, but I do like it. Would I want to write that with AI? No, but could it help me? Yes. Would I know the difference between a human and AI? Maybe, maybe not. But the human one's probably going to fetch more money. Like if AI tapes a banana to the wall, like that famous, did you see the banana? Nobody's going to care. They'd be like, why did the computer, what? It doesn't make any sense. But the guy does it, and oh my God, it's amazing. Realizing everything in life is about agreements. Why was the banana worth money? Because enough people agreed to where it bid up the price of it. Is it worth that much now? Probably not.
Yeah, the same thing about AI. It's just we need to build our ethical borders and views around that.
Yep. Collaboration and team impact. I think one of the best things you can do if you're in this to win it and you want to do programming, start making a little bit of money. Hire an outsourced programmer. Like, we have a programmer, I think you can get an entry-level programmer for $100, $150 a week in different countries. They're good. Ours has been with us many years. He makes more because he's been with us a while. But you can get entry-level ones because you don't need full-time. With AI, I doubt our programmer works full-time. I think maybe, I don't know if you're listening, you can tell us. He'll always say full-time because, you know, He likes big check. But at any rate, looking at that and understanding, hey, I could do this. I can make this work, and with the help of a programmer. Possible research, can prompting replace traditional programming? I think it's getting there. So all in all, I think vibe coding can be good. I think, again, narrow, learn one thing. If you learn one thing, it's easy to sell that one thing on freelance or to other people. Like when I did SEO, I wasn't the SEO king for everyone. I was the SEO guy for limousine companies. Because of that, I knew who to market to. I knew what to say. My flyer had a limo on it. They didn't understand, like even now, 2025, they don't know what SEO is. They're trying to sell limos or limo rides or whatever.
Yeah, most people don't.
Yeah, most people don't. Did you know before you got here?
No.
Yeah, so you didn't know SEO, and a lot of people don't. So understanding that, funny thing, like if you watch our videos and you learn from us, you're probably 99% ahead of most people when it comes to computer stuff. We don't see it because we're in it. Like if you ask Alina, oh, how's your growth? She's like, I don't know, I just work with AI. I look at it and I'm like, damn, girl, you like figured this out. You got skills now. A lot of people don't realize that because you're in it. What you learn and how you apply it with AI determines your value in the marketplace, whether it's freelance, side hustle, or building apps and stuff that people want to use. And if you build that and grow using AI, using outsourcers, whatever it is, even if you learn traditional programming, that is what's going to make you more valuable. The more valuable you become, the more you're going to make.
Very true.
Last minute thoughts?
There is a good summary about that it makes coding more accessible to all the other people, but try to be like aware of the downsides and like critical thinking, try to learn through it. And yes, like if you keep learning and you keep applying those new things, that's very important in the modern world. Your skills will be valuable if you keep developing it.
Yep, so learn coding, follow us, smash the like button, watch our videos. We have a lot of videos on coding. Alina made one on Bolt. A lot of things you can learn to become more valuable in the age of AI. Thanks for watching. We'll see you over at AIProfitScoop.com.
See you in the next one.